this CuzTheInternet podcast. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm your Jose Mata Mata. Let's get into it. So, question for you. As a young man growing up, did you have dreams and ambitions?
That's the question? Yes.
That was a question.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And what did you want to be when you were young growing up?
Oh,
what did you think your future career would be?
A plethora of things, but I definitely believed I'd be a sports star. I felt as though I would. I don't know. And like, how old are we talking about? Are we talking about teenage or like 6, 7? You understand what I mean?
No, not 6, 7. I'm talking like teenage,
like early teens, preteens. Yeah. So yeah. I definitely thought I'd be a professional athlete. That's where I thought my life and career was heading.
Okay. So, if while you were in your hoop dreams, or ball dreams, pause, if auntie or uncle didn't believe in you and you did make it, would you hold it against them and be scornful towards them because they didn't believe in your dream? Or would you just be like, you know what? It's a long shot. It's a 1 in a million chance for people to make it anyway. So I get where they were coming from and I understand. Or would you be like, nah, they ain't getting nothing from me?
Well, the thing is, I've always been, for the most part, level-headed thinker. So I would understand the numbers and be like, yeah, the odds of me making it were super slim. And secondly, I'm just not that type of person. You know, as long as I knew they loved me and cared for me and fed me and gave me a roof over my head, I couldn't have any ill will. You know what I mean? Like, unless they were beating it into my head, like, you're not good enough. You're like, if they kept saying that, then I think I'd have an issue. But if it was just a realistic point of view, like, make sure you have something to fall back on, go to school, get an education, you know, take certain things more serious, I don't think I'd have any issue with it. I think I'd definitely support them.
Okay. I say this because Quentin Tarantino, we all know and love him. Yeah. His movies, dope. I think he's a great director, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Director, screenwriter,
yeah,
actor. I mean, I can't say he's a great actor, but you know,
he gets the job done. He gets the job done.
Exactly. So he has vowed to not give his mother a dime of what he has made while doing this.
Yeah.
Because she obviously didn't believe in him. And she would tell him, like, downplay it, like your little screenwriting thing, stop writing these stories because it's not going to get you anywhere. And so he's held that against her. And he's vowed never to buy her nothing concerning anything with the money he's made from doing that. Yeah. Do you think he's right or wrong for that?
I think he's hella wrong. Like, you know, like when they show the clips of like how, and I'm not trying to feed into any stereotypes, but this is a more than often, or I've seen it a couple of times, even in my life, how like YT, how white people would treat their parents, like, get out of my room, you F&B, and curse them out. It's a privilege that I believe certain people have, that they could actually look at their parents as individuals and not like mom and dad. They could look at them like Karen and Steve. Like, and I think that separation makes it a lot easier to make them into individuals and you not feel bad about treating them a certain way. Because me, I couldn't treat my parent, like, regardless of what they said, they still actually took care of me. Like, I'm in debt to them. That's just the way I was brought up, the way I think. Like, regardless, as long as they fed me, put me through school, did whatever, bought me the pencils I used to write this script, bought me the paper, how can I then look at that person and say, you don't deserve none of my success? For me, I just feel automatically obligated. But I think that is a privilege that I think parents give to their children by allowing them to, it's good to make your kids into individuals, but you have to also make them understand that we are a team, we're a group, we're a family. And the same way I take care of you, you're supposed to take care of me. And I find that's kind of separated in certain households. How about you?
No, I agree with what you're saying, but I mean, I'm just gonna. The short answer, I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
Now, the actors, actresses, athletes, whoever, they make a name for themselves, make millions of dollars. Do you think it's right that they say they're not leaving anything for their children to inherit, and they're just going to give it to charity, and their children have to fend for themselves, or should they leave something for their children?
All right. So,
sorry, once again, I believe that is also another trait of people of a lighter hue.
Yeah.
Because we know what it's like to struggle, to go through things, and we don't want to put our children through that when we don't have to. So that's why I asked to see what you think about it, but that was just my opinion because I didn't answer the other one, but I agreed with what you were saying. So as you were going to say?
So the thing was, honestly, initially, I always thought like it's messed up, but at the end of the day, it's their money. They could choose what they want to do with it. That was my initial thought. But then I believe his name is Charles White. I saw him on a Vlad interview, and Vlad asked him about that because I know. Because Jackie Chan said he's not going to leave his son any money. Yeah. Right. And then what Charles White said was, which was real, he was like, what, you're going to donate it so somebody else could spend the money, or they're going to mess it up? Because half the time, a lot of these places you donate to, there's somebody that's stealing. There's somebody that's going to take majority. The organization only gets a certain percentage. So you're willing to give all that money for somebody else to mess it up rather than your own blood. It's like, you might as well. You're gone anyways. So why do you care how your child's going to spend it? And let them have the money and enjoy it. And therefore, it changed my whole opinion on it, because I'm like, yes, at the end of the day, what difference does it make to you? You know what I mean? Regardless of what they're going to do with it. Like, that's their money now. Let them enjoy and have the best life that they could have. And so I think it's real, again, something of a lighter hue, of someone that just doesn't understand that, just like, not just happiness, because money doesn't buy happiness, but why would you want your child to struggle? Like, at the end of the day, whether they're a mess up or not, let them have the best life they could have. Like, that should be something you should want to give to your child regardless. So yeah, I think that overall, it's something that people of privilege, again, when they disassociate themselves from a family aspect and more into individualized thinking, I think that's what happens.
No, I get it. And I agree. He hit the nail on the head with that analogy. It makes so much sense. I didn't think of it like that because, like you were saying, it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. But like, people are talking about the Red Cross. Don't donate to the Red Cross because they don't do anything with the funds that you give them. They do other things. The tragedy in Haiti. Yeah. My prayers go out to everybody there.
Yes, definitely.
And they built, say, 6 houses with all the money that was donated to them. So people do funny things. And you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, I know I'm going on a tangent. I'm off topic. But as long as you know your heart and you know what you're doing, as long as you're pure at heart, that's all that matters. Because you see panhandlers on the street begging for change. A lot of people are apprehensive to give them change because they don't want them buying drugs. They don't want them buying alcohol. At the end of the day, you're doing good by yourself, by God. So you just give it to them. Hey, if they want to do something with it, let them do something with it. Yeah. It's their prerogative. You know, you are being an honorable person by giving it to them. Yeah. And that's just like going to church. People will question, oh, well, why do I have to give so much in tithes? Why do I have to give so much in offerings? What are you guys going to do with it? Why are you worried about what the pastor is going to do with the funds? As long as you're doing your part, you're big into church and you know you have to give your tithes and offerings, just give it. At the end of the day, you know you did what you were supposed to do. That was your security deposit to God's place.
I get you.
Hey,
I get you.
don't worry about it.
That whole, ideology and stuff is kind of complex. That one's a
No,
little, but
exactly,
I get what
exactly.
you're saying on an overall statement because, again, because it's again, sometimes I can't even say a lot or something, but sometimes churches, kind of force you into giving certain amounts and make you feel as though you're not doing right by God or themselves if you don't. So there's a lot of deeper things that sometimes go into these things. That's why it's like a little bit touchy. But for the most part, I agree. Like I agree 100% with your sentiments. Again, it doesn't matter as long as you're doing what's right, and that's the same thing with leaving money for your kids. You left them that so they could have. Now, if your kid wants to party it all, drink it all, smoke it all, the whole point is you left it for them to be happy. Now, if that's what's going to make them to be happy, I understand that's not what you want, but do you rather your kid do it or somebody you don't know doing it? Like, at the end of the day, you're not here to even care. You understand? So I don't know. It's one of those things, man.
No, I get it. I agree. Post you sent me, and this dude, he's sitting there and he's pondering and thinking. And there's the caption that says, "One of the hardest truths to accept as a man." And then the next caption says, "She's never, in quotes, yours. It's just your turn." I know you sent it to me and I should answer first.
Because I want to hear your answer.
Okay, you know what?
I want to hear that answer.
Now, she's never, in brackets, yours.
Yeah.
It's just your turn. For starters, yes, I'm glad they put it in brackets because you know what? No one is anybody's property. So therefore, I just want to we need to clarify.
Okay.
We do need to clarify.
Okay.
So I understand that. And I agree with it.
Okay.
I'm going to use a horrible analogy, but I hope you follow me and then it will make sense. Okay?
All right. Yeah.
As a kid, you say, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I've been good all month. I think I deserve to be taken to the most wonderful place on the earth, Toys R Us." And they say, "Okay." And they bring you to Toys R Us. And you're there and you're playing with all the toys. And the world is your oyster. Every aisle, there's toys. Every toy your heart desires, you're playing with. Cool. And now it's time to leave. Your parents don't buy you any of those toys. So you were just on borrowed time. I get it. Now, if there was a toy that you really, really, really liked, you say, "Mom, Dad, I need this in my life. You gotta believe me." And they say, "You know what? Because you were good all month and you've been good, I'm gonna buy it for you." So now you have that toy. You go home and you can play with that toy all you want. All the other toys that you play with in the store, yeah, it was what it was. It was there for everybody to play with. It wasn't truly yours because you didn't purchase it. So, hey, but the one that you really wanted, you purchased. And now that's quote unquote yours. Okay? It's just like now these women. She's never truly yours. It's just your turn. Sure, it's your turn until you take it seriously and you decide, this is the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the one I want to make my numero uno, my right hand, my rib, my queen, and you put a ring on it. That's when it stops being your turn and it's just yours, period. So therefore, I agreed with him saying, she's never truly yours, it's just your turn. He just needed to finish that thought because, it's your turn until you take it seriously enough and put a ring on. That's what I think.
Okay. That was a good take. That was a good take. I was not understanding the Toys R Us until the ending. It was like a surprise ending. I was like, but no, definitely, I got it. I see again. I agree with you. I agree with the not yours, only your turn. Now, the thing is, that's such a blanket statement that it could be meant in so many different ways. You know, the whole point is, like you said, though, nobody ever truly belongs to you. We like to believe as though or feel as though, but everyone has free will. Everyone's able to move as they choose. So I agree as far as it's never yours. Like it's all okay. Let me just start again. But you cannot own somebody. They're not your property. And if they chose to move on, or if they were with someone before you, then technically it would be your turn. So therefore, again, it's not yours, it's only your turn. But I like the way you twisted it. I like the way you said it as far as once you make that commitment, as though you're marking it as yours. So I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I also have seen in my lifetime that people have marked their commitment and it still has just been their turn. And that's with men and women. So it's not, it's just realistically, that's the way people have choice. People can choose to stay or go. But again, I agree with the sentiment. Like, you have young men growing up, I have young men growing up, and that's what I would tell them. I would tell them that at the end of the day, understand that you cannot possess anybody. They're not a piece of property. So you can only enjoy them and be with them as long as they want to enjoy you and be with you. So therefore, they're, you know what I mean? They're not yours. It's just your turn. So I agree with the sentiment. I hate to say it, and it sucks to say it, but realistically, that's the truth.
The other post you sent, being the boy best friend when she's single versus when she's taken. Sorry, I'm just gonna play it so you can both hear it.
Okay.
Single is fucking terrible. Being a boy best friend when a girl got a man is a fucking power trip. You just know that. Being a boy best friend when a girl is single is fucking terrible. Being a boy best friend when a girl got a man is a fucking power trip. You just know that you've been the subject of the argument multiple fucking times. Every time you text her, every time you hang out, you know they getting into a fight. And the day he puts his foot down and tell her that you can no longer hang out with him, you know you seeing that girl tonight. You can just, damn, your man ain't shit. You'll weigh into some cheeks. Friend zone can actually be a beautiful place, but only under the right circumstances.
Now,
yeah,
my guy says being a male friend to a female or the sex you're attracted to, we'll just use that because, I mean, nowadays it's not only men, female, it can be men, women, women. So being attracted to the person you're attracted to, just being their friend. When they're single, he says it sucks. But he says when they're in a relationship, it's the best thing in the world because you know you're the subject of a lot of their arguments. And if ever it comes to the point where he says, you're never going to, I don't ever want you to talk to that person again, you know that that person's going to come see you that same night. And if ever the boyfriend or the girlfriend messes up, then you can just be like, yo, damn, and be that shoulder she cries on and be in there like swimwear. Now, I don't agree with it. I really don't.
Okay.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Because, for one, if you respected the friendship, you're not doing this stuff.
Yes.
If you respect that person, you're not doing that stuff. Now, if you always had a crush on this person and you know that this person doesn't want you like that, and you feel like you have to trick your way into getting with them, then have a little bit more respect for yourself. Like, you don't need to sit here and pine over this one person. There are plenty of fish to see. There are people who love you for you. You don't need to try to trick somebody into being with you. And you don't have to, like, anyways, I know I'm really going off on this dude for whatever. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. That's it, really. Because you know this person will be in a vulnerable state. They're devastated because they got into whatever argument. You're really going to take that opportunity and try to take advantage of the person. And then when they wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, they hate themselves. They hate, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm really just thinking way too much into it. But it could be one of those beautiful situations where, you know what, he's been in love with her, and she finally sees it. I don't know. But I don't think it's, anyways, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm even getting with this. I don't know if, you know, talk on it. Say whatever you want to say on it.
All right. So, I fully agree. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. Yada, 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 yada. Now, the thing is, where you said you don't think that, I think it works. I think it fully works. Not even sometimes. I think it works a lot. I think that a lot of times, I won't just say women, but a lot of times people lie to themselves and know that there's something between them and their friend of the opposite sex. But it's a lot easier just to say, no, we're friends, but you guys do things that are still borderline friendship relationship. You guys are still cuddling and watching a movie, but nothing more. You guys are still jokingly hugging a little too tight, a little too close, but you guys still play that borderline. So I think both sides understand, the person that's in the relationship and the person that's playing their role of just being that good friend. Now, what he's saying, even though I don't condone it, he's giving good game again, because he's not speaking to the person that's madly in love trying to interrupt the relationship. He's speaking to the person that is, hey, in between time, I would get with, but he's doing his thing, but I would still get with. Now, all he's saying is all you have to do is throw out a couple of, I can't believe he said that. That's messed up. You deserve better. And that's the game he's playing. It's not that he's waiting. It's that eventually it will fall into his lap, and which is messed up, but it's the truth. And that's why I personally said I don't agree with the commingling of friendships between the sexes, because a lot of people think this way. Again, it's not right. And then there are some people that don't. I can't say any all, but I'm just saying there's a lot. And it's not that they're going to make those gestures. The fact is they won't make those gestures, which will make it even more frustrating, because all they're going to do is console and take her side on certain things and build her resentment. And the way he's going to build her resentment is by taking up for the guy. That's game 101. He'd be like, he didn't come home last night. Like, for real? He's probably working late. He'd be like, he doesn't work on Wednesdays. See, he already built her head because he knew where it was going to go. But he let her get to come to that conclusion and pissed her off by saying that. These are certain tactics people use to get where they want. I am not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that he's just giving the game and letting people know this is what happens. And for the most part, like he said, being in the friend zone is not always a bad thing if you know how to play that friend zone. I don't agree. I am just saying, I think he's right.
So there was another post where this dude says, he poses a question to the audience saying he hasn't seen his boy in about 5 years per se. And that boy comes to town and he hollers at him and says, yo, I'm in town. He says, oh, word, I'm having something at my house, run through. So his boy then asks, the boy who was out of town, who came to visit, who hollered at him saying he's in town when he's invited to this kickback. He asks, but are there going to be bees there, women there, ladies, the B word? And he then poses the question, is he wrong for thinking or asking that question? If he hasn't seen him in however many years, why is he concerned about if women are there? Shouldn't he just want to come see his boy? What do you feel?
All right, I feel two ways about it. Now, one, I understand his point of view. Like, why are you even asking me that? We grown, right? Like, that's generally the concept. That's his way I would think. That's the way a lot of people would think. But then, secondly, if his boy is single, if his boy's on vacation, it doesn't mean that his boy's not going to necessarily come over. It could just be like, yo, are there going to be any? Like, because sometimes you want to know these things. For one, the vibe it's going to be. Like, should I, bring my A game? Should I dress to impress? Or is it just the fellas chilling? Should I just rock a boom boom? I know it sounds silly, but again, if he's single on vacation, he just might want to know the vibe. Is it a real thing? Should I plan something after? Is there going to be an all-night thing? Asking, is there going to be? I know it's very immature, but when you're in an immature mindset, it helps understand the type of night it might be if you're on that vibe. So if he's on that vibe, he wants to know what kind of night will it be. Not saying it's right, but I can't necessarily say that he's wrong, because him asking doesn't mean he's not going to come. Maybe his wording, if you're insulted by the words he's using, like the B word, I fully get it. But if you just said, yo, are there going to be girls there? And if he's single, I don't think you should be offended by him asking that. Just saying. How about you?
Well, I mean, I got what he was saying. He hasn't seen his boy in 5 years. And it doesn't matter if they're going to be women there or not. Just, you're coming to see me. You're coming to chill out with me. I told you I'm having something. Run through. Have a drink.
Yeah. No, I get it.
That was it.
I agree.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think he's wrong for, I mean, it's the way he feels. So
exactly.
Hey, no one can tell you how to feel. So, hey, you're not wrong for feeling the way you feel.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is an immature mindset.
Definitely.
So, I mean, you're trying to line up something. Like, there are people out there who, hey, I'm on vacation, or I'm single, so I'm trying to line up something every night for every night I'm there.
There's some people
and
like
so
that.
I get it. Exactly. Yeah. So I get it. I understand that. But, I mean, I guess maybe it's because we're older and we're way past that. That's why it just, it sounds wrong. It just, like, come on, grow up, man. You don't need to do all this.
I agree, but there's some people that just want that vibe, though, too. Like, is it going to be, because we all know, okay, the thing is, again, his boy's coming on vacation. So his vacation vibe, he might just be like,
you want to go on vacation? Go to an island. Go to a resort. There will be other tourists there wanting to do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, hey, you can have fun that way.
That's true.
It's not to say you're going anywhere exotic, crazy. You're going back to wherever you were from because that's where you met your boy, or you went to school there, something. But you had some kind of connection there to end up going back there to visit.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, hey, maybe you can see. It doesn't matter.
Listen, I fully get what you're saying, and I'm not knocking. You got 100%. Definitely immature mindset. I guess I could see if he's offended, no one could tell him how to feel. In which I could actually kind of see why he'd be offended if you were just like, bro, like I haven't seen him in 5 years. Like, why do you even care about that? But I'm just saying, on the other side, he can mean no harm, no foul by it. Really asking, are there going to be girls, to find out what type of vibe it's going to be. If not, he might just, again, come in as wife beater and some flip-flops. If there are, he might try to, dress a little more appropriate. So I could see it both ways.
Jogging pants with no brief.
Facts. You know the dress code. Slut it out. No, it is.
Yeah, but no, I get it. But maybe it is the wording.
Yeah.
Because you could have asked that in any other way.
Yeah.
But you decided, yo, what is that? Like, you could have said, yo, like, what kind of vibe are we on? Like,
exactly.
Is it like a barbecue? Is it? Even if he asked, are there gonna be ladies there? I don't think he would have took that much offense to it. But because it's like what is that? It's like, oh my gosh, you still on this time?
Exactly.
And that's probably what it is.
No, definitely. And that's most likely the problem. But I hate when because he seemed like he was genuinely bothered by it. So I hate when small issues like become big ones, because if he was bothered by it, I would hope that he would address it. Be like, bro, like what type of time you on, man? I haven't seen you in 5 years. What do you mean by that? If he would address it, maybe his boy could have elaborated. Like, no, I just wanted to know. Like, is it a vibe? Should I come in a 3-piece
because he
suit?
knows his boy? It probably is one of those things where he just wants to come because he just wants there to be girls there. Because you know your boy better than anybody else would. So that was probably what he was on. And he was just like, really?
Yeah, true. And it's easy to get offended by that. Again, if I haven't seen you in 5 years and you just like, yo, I'm like, yo, you coming through? You're like, ain't gonna be any. I'd be like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, so exactly. I get it.